Good evening, people, and welcome to Klipkop TV. Tonight, I have a special guest that needs no introduction. Everybody knows him. Um, he's been around YouTube for longer than I have been, but we felt that like we need to reach out more and get in touch with each other more. So, Caracal, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me, Klipkop. It's CC and KK. So I think we are going to have a very nice stream tonight. It's been a while since I've streamed, but we can get into that later while I've been on a hiatus, if you will. But yeah, thank you for having me on, man, and let's see where the conversation goes.
I would like to thank everybody that tuned in. We have Chad Blighnout in the chat. Truth Canary is also here. And Sunny Savannah. Hello, Mazakinas. Away. I think I'm still not going to jump straight into it. I'm going to do a bit of a spoiler. We are going to do like mainstream type news. I know my video is a bit glitchy at the moment. We're trying to sort out like what's the best live streaming platform. This one is definitely not it, but it will work for now. But we're going to discuss some like mainstream type news, and then after that we are going to go a little bit more personal into like social media people in the YouTube sphere and who is who, and discuss on like where were we and where we moving towards. Now
Right, and I think this is really a trial and error process. So I think the people who understand that there's some little hiccups here and there, I think that can be ironed out in the future.
everybody must just remember you are on Klipkop's channel at the moment, so don't expect too much. Okay, if we're gonna jump straight into it, Robert Mugabe. What what is your like view on his death? Some people are glad he's dead. Other people say like he was some sort of a hero. What is your view of Robert Mugabe and specifically his death?
Right. So for me, I'm not one to really celebrate anyone's death. I think it's a really low form of commentary on it. But I also don't think that you can gloss over it. And after someone dies, they become some type of a saint or like some type of more than a hero than they were. So I think if you just look at social media, there seems to be actually quite a bit of a split. You have the people on the more far left, if you will, that are celebrating not in terms of that he is dead, but rather his life and what he accomplished, and talking about how he was a great liberator and this awesome philanthropist and hero and whatever. And then you have the people on the other side that are talking about how, or rather highlighting what his life was really like and what he really accomplished. And that's not such a pretty picture. So for me, it's just very bizarre to take someone after they died and now suddenly now all the honesty comes out. I think while he was still alive, that was the time for honesty. That was when you had to look at someone completely as they are. But it seems like only after they die do they really become more notorious or famous or infamous, depending on from whose perspective we're looking at it. So we're at this position where social media seems to be very split. But at the same time, the one side celebrating him seems to be the much more radical and possessed by ideology or drunk on ideology, as Adams Roots would say, side. While the other side looking at a more realistic, objective way at what he did to his country seem to be actually the moderates. What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, to start off, like it was a very hot day today. You are now in Pretoria, you're not in the Western Cape anymore, correct?
Yeah, it's quite cold here, even though the spring has already started. I'm wearing my parka, so I'm pretty still not feeling the summer yet, man.
One of my friends mentioned to me that the reason why it was so hot today, like it was in the cities, and she said that the reason why it's so hot is because the gates of hell have opened to accept Robert Mugabe. But you said that that is the far left is portraying him as this great revolutionary. Like I wouldn't completely agree with you on that one. Like even the far left is able to say, like even Ronaldo says like Mugabe was not a good guy. It's more the communist revolutionaries. Like we are equating the two to each other, and we do that often like on many things. But I think we should distinguish it between the left and the communist revolutionaries. I know on the
Right.
political scale, I'm a little bit right, but I actually see myself as a leftist. Like I like for like liberating things, like changing things, new ideas. But I'm just not into this communist thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't say Ronaldo Gous is far left. I think he's just pretty much a garden variety liberal, if I look at his ideology. Far left is more of like, as you say, more the communist Marxist side of the political spectrum. But at the end of the day, I also think that even now, in the wake of Mugabe dying in a foreign country, the absolute African revolutionary that he was, um, I think we are now at a point where it's becoming very evident that a lot of these dictatorial figures don't really care about their countries. They're not really patriots or nationalists, even. They actually pretty much seem to be only care about enriching themselves. And in this case, leaving his country with an absolutely destroyed health sector and then going to Singapore to die in luxury.
You mentioned that that it's becoming more and more evident, like what these people really are and what they do. That brings me to the next topic, the xenophobic attacks. Now, Julius Malema had a tweet about like, so we shouldn't attack Makwere Kwere, we should attack white people. And I checked on his Twitter timeline. There was a lot of like even people with staunch EFF supporters, like CIC. Whoa, this time you are wrong. Sit down. It's almost like as if there's a sort of an awakening now. Do you also feel it, or is your perspective different?
Well, I think I wouldn't call it an awakening. I think it's just the brunt of evidence that is out there. I think is just too big to ignore. I think it's just so obvious
Fair
in
enough.
terms of the type of leader that he was. So I think that would be my angle rather. That I think any person that really just looks at this from as objectively as possible would be able to see the failings in his ruling or his regime. So I wouldn't say it's like one great awakening, but rather just people being acquainted with reality.
Okay, now with these xenophobic attacks, I have a problem with people calling it xenophobia. It's almost like the government is like pushing this whole xenophobia narrative. The reason why people are acting so bad, well, the justification for them looting shops and burning shops is because of immigration, economic migrants taking the jobs away from the people. Shouldn't we also discuss that? Because all that we are discussing now is like how bad the xenophobia is, but we should also discuss the immigration with that. And I think government is trying to
Right.
avoid that topic.
I think something very important that I don't see a lot of people talking about, or really the top analysts really bringing to the fore, is the fact that if you look at this now from the populist perspective, or for example from the ANC and EFF's perspective, they're going to have to choose a side. There are two very distinct ways to treat this crisis at the moment. And that's either a nativist approach or a more pan-Africanist approach. With the EFF and Malema, for those who don't know, Pan-Africanism, very short and sweet of it, is the idea that Africa should be united as one continent and
Spe-
under one ideology
Specifically
and
an
one
ethno
regime.
continent.
Yes. Now, that's the one path that we're seeing a little bit of rhetoric from Malema from, kind of flirting with that pan-Africanist idea of we're all the same and we all need to stand together against a common enemy, whoever that common enemy is. But then you see a speech from Cyril Ramaphosa from a few months ago, just before the election, where he's talking about how immigrants are taking the jobs of regular South Africans and affecting the way of life of South Africans. And that's more of a nativist approach, also a populist approach to the problem, but from a different angle, from a more domestic angle of South Africans need to stand together and South Africans need to be united. So I think this is going to be very important in the future to see which path the ANC chooses in the end. Do they take a nativist approach or do they take a pan-Africanist approach? I think it's going to be vital to whatever happens to the ANC in the future is which path they choose to take.
There, I agree with you 100%. Like, I think Cyril Ramaphosa he is basically a puppet for whoever is controlling the ANC at this very moment, and it changes over time. But it is going to be very trying times because this is the first time South Africa is really being tried and tested on their diplomacy. Because they burnt down the Nigerian embassy, the embassy in Nigeria, if I'm correct. If the tweets I saw is true and correct, I did not fact check that, but it seems like the citizens of Nigeria is hitting back.
Mm. They're also attacking MTN shops
Shoprite.
and breaking their DSTV decoders and Shoprite. Yeah, and I mean, even the Nigerian government put out a statement where they said that this has gone too far and they're going to take action against it in some diplomatic manner. So we're going to see where that goes. But I think it's definitely a very interesting and determining issue that you have to keep your eye on, because it's going to have a very big influence on not only South African politics but generally the politics on this continent.
To me, I feel like Cyril Ramaphosa is just not, man enough to handle the situation, but he is our president for the moment. Let's go to the comments real quick, see if there's anything. I will. Wow, you people are lekker active. We have 40 viewers.
I
This is
see
amazing.
there's one comment that stands out to me. The only example Mugabe was how not to run a country.
Chad Blighnote at Contras Caracal. Come now, say who the common enemy is. Don't be politically correct. Well, I don't know if Caracal doesn't want to say it, but I'll say it. It's white people in general, white monopoly capital. And that doesn't extend just to like the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers. That extends to everybody, even the white people in the middle class.
Mm. But it touches on something interesting, and that's what Ace Magashule said this week about the kind of conflating white South Africans with foreigners. And that's why I tweeted out the Volkov Politica lyrics of being a tourist in your own country of birth.
Yeah, yeah. I actually thought about that today. I'm a big fan of Jesse Lee Peterson's, and I would like to like phone in one day and just troll, and ask him like, why do Black Americans call themselves African Americans? They've never been in Africa. But
Yeah, well, you can then technically say that Elon Musk is the richest African American in history.
well, he is the richest African American in history. Okay, I had one more mainstream topic for us. That was femicide. Here's the thing, like I see this thing about femicide coming up, and like I know that there was one girl who was murdered. Like, what is that all about? Like, please give me the news because I know nothing about this whole femicide thing.
I can really just give you the basic gist
Okay,
of the
hit me.
situation. I think, from what I understand, there was this woman in Cape Town. She was a student at UCT, and she went to the post office, and she was then murdered by one of the employees. And I think she was raped. I can't remember. But there was also a string of other rapes that occurred in that week as well. And there was another story that also linked up to it. Can't remember, but yeah, it was like just this perfect storm of crimes against women that were committed that kind of set this all off. But it was specifically that murder in Cape Town of that UCT student that was the catalyst. And you got a huge protest in Cape Town based on that. And now a lot of topics actually have now come to the fore. People are talking about the death penalty, which is a debate we haven't had in a long while. People are talking about how the type of punishment we give rapists. People are debating about how we raise our sons. People are debating about whether men are trash or not. So a lot of interesting debates have come out of it, but also it gives us a little bit of an insight into where the zeitgeist is at the moment regarding these
The
issues.
thing is, I don't want to like downplay the troubles that women go through in the country, etc. But like there is like really bad stuff going down on our farms, and there are some people that talk about a even mentioning a possibility of a white genocide happening. You get shunned. You get quieted. Like you get like moved out of the conversation. You're not allowed to even speak about a white genocide. But there's one or two cases of a woman being murdered. All of a sudden, we have a femicide. Like there's no consistency. Like why is that?
Um, s- yeah, something I brought up, but you also brought it up in a tweet, if I remember correctly. You said, "But what about our women on our farms?" But something I like to bring up, just to kind of stir the pot a bit, is actually when a while back, long ago, the first appearance I ever made on Ronaldo Gos's channel was back when the police statistics were coming out last year, and he made the tweet of, look at the total murders that happen. How can you focus on farm murders if they only make up this small percentage of the total murders? All murders matter. And then I made the example of, if you use that logic, then you can't campaign or protest for violence against women either, because more men per capita are murdered in this country than women. And I'm talking under complete correction. I think the number is somewhere around like 14 women per 100,000 and men are like 60 per 100,000. But it's completely, I'm talking under correction. But it's a very big gap. And now you're seeing this, and I don't see the same hostility towards this type of protest, or as you pointed out, people talking about a femicide. I'm not seeing that same hostility that you get when you try to bring awareness to farm murders, where people say, no, but why aren't you talking about these murders? Why aren't you talking about this crime? Why aren't you talking about these victims? Have you seen one person on social media point that out to, and I mean, it's not an argument I would make. I'm just being devil's advocate. I would never tell. I think they have every right to protest violence against women and children in this country. I think it's a serious issue. But then you shouldn't be a hypocrite when people protest and bring awareness to farm murders, and then you don't use that same logic. And that's why I'm bringing up the question of, I've not seen one person challenge these people and say, well, why are you singling out this one group? If you look at per capita or the total of murders, then this and this and this. It just isn't the case.
Don't you think you should be that person? Like, tweet at Lesufi or somebody, like, go big. Okay, that was basically it for my mainstream. We've only like gone for like 15 minutes. Do you have anything else like that is like mainstream news that you want to discuss?
I'm not the mainstream guy, man.
But me neither. Like it's almost like there's so much corruption in South Africa now. People are following the Busasa case and this guy stole money and making news out of this. It is not news to me anymore. I'm more focused on like, what are we doing? Like all of these paranoia propagandists years ago were proven right. Like things are really going down the toilet at the moment in South Africa. And my number one priority is how to sort this out. What do we do?
Right. There's a comment in the chat that caught my eye. Brain Ghost says, we have 57 murders a day, mostly men. I don't hear a cry of menacide. Yeah, well, that's pretty much our point, yeah. Imagine you use the term menacide. You post the murder stats about men versus women, and you say #menacide.
Oh,
well, yeah.
You guys at AfriForum and have like the lekker people that can look up data. Get me the data. I'll tweet it. Ek is nie bang nie. Sunshine.
Oh, I'll send it to you, man.
Sunshine Savannah. Klipkop. Question to Ernst. Have you seen Trevor Noah's response to xenophobia in South Africa, and what you think about it? Is it genuine?
See, that is a good question, because I actually saw someone post that, American person on Twitter post that image of what he allegedly said, and I asked for a source. No one's been able to give me a source. I went to his Instagram. It's not there, so it definitely didn't happen this year. Could have been in the past. I can't say. I'm not going to dig through his thousands of images, but because I can't find that proof, I'm not going to spread it. I'm not going to portray it as the truth. But yeah, this gets back to that idea of critical thinking and approaching everything critically, even if it enforces your worldview. That piece of evidence, or that post specifically, I couldn't find any proof of it. So up until then, I can't really say that I'm going to spread it, or really even comment on it if I can't really know if it's genuine or not.
Okay, well, Sunny Savannah, like if you want to comment on that Trevor Noah post, that is recent, I suggest you go look up the Loving Life channel. He probably did a video about it, if there's fake news going around. Stefan Sankara Mugs asks at Klipkop, can we go back to Mugabe for a second, and why he became like he became, and it is how it is relevant to South Africa. What created the monster? Very broad question. Also, one of the big questions in regards to liberation movements. I think you can ask the exact same question about the ANC. I mean, how did we get here? It comes down to a very
interesting angle where you have to ask yourself, did the person in or movement in question become a monster, or were they always a monster all along? I think that's a topic rather for another stream where you can actually really go into it. I'm going to have to actually do my research myself. I can't tell you. I don't know Mugabe's history well enough to say like, here's the point where he turned into a tyrant, or here's proof that he was always a monster all along. I'm going to have to plead ignorance here in terms of if I definitely discuss this in a separate stream or video, but I'm going to have to do my own research first before I can really give an educated opinion on it, because otherwise I'm just going to be speculating.
Okay, I'm going to go with exactly what you said because I have no idea either. Free de Boer at Klipkop, what is your definition of white monopoly capital? I am not clear on your view. White monopoly capital, for example, is like the Anglo-American De Beers group that owns millions and millions of hectares of land in the Northern Cape, and they just hold on to it, and they make those figures of white-owned versus black-owned land so skewed, like the mega bucks people. It's people with monopolies, basically.
But then if you listen to some people, they might argue that you and me have white monopoly capital as well, just by virtue of our white skin.
The thing is, that rhetoric comes from the National Democratic Revolution, and with people like the EFF that believe in that document, white monopoly capital definitely extends to the white middle class. So I just want to. That is what I understand of white monopoly capital coming from the communist perspective, is that it basically includes all white people, unless you are like really dirt poor and living in a sink hut somewhere. You are white monopoly capital.
Well, maybe I think the suggestion that I would give you, Klipkop, is maybe in the future you should have this Stefan Marx on as a guest. I mean, he seems to be a genuine Marxist. You can ask him maybe to really lay it out for you in detail, and you guys can have a nice chat about it.
This is the first time that I see Stefan Sankara Marx on my show. You can drop me an email. It's at the beginning and the end of the live show, and in the description it should be there as well. And everybody's more than welcome to contact me. Like, I try my best to respond. Stefan Sankara Marx again at Klipkop. It is not a one or two woman, man. Many women all over suburbs, townships, squatter camps. Well, we are not saying there is not a problem. We are comparing the public reaction to femicide and white genocide. It is like totally separated from each other when it's both issues are real. Chad Blichnout says at Klipkop, notice how Ronaldo speaks about femicide. Yes, farm murders is just part of the total problem. That is exactly our point. And that is all the ad questions. Do we have something to add, Mr. Caracal?
I think we've covered the mainstream stuff very much, man. I think we've pretty much done a good analysis of it. I would like to get into the more interesting stuff where we can actually give a perspective to the people that they might not get anywhere else. In terms of two oaks that have been on the scene quite a long time, just giving our thoughts on just what's happening on South African YouTube or SAFA YouTube, whatever you want to call it. I think we're living in very interesting times.
Well, that actually brings me to my next point. Is there anybody in chat or watching now that does not understand Afrikaans and would like us to stick to English? How many? We actually have 46 viewers at the moment. That's my best so far. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Is there anybody that does not understand Afrikaans that will not be able to follow this conversation? Even if there's only one, we will stick to English. But like, I really have a need to like do a live stream in Afrikaans. Like, I feel it burning inside myself because I'm just so much more comfortable and you express yourself better in your mother language.
Well, I see there is already our first Soti there, so we're going to have to stick to the colonists' language. But then at the same time, Klipkop, I think what you should do is you should bietjie wissel. So in the future, you go from 1 week you do an Afrikaans stream, next week in English. I think that would be a very nice balance.
Okay, we have Sunshine Savannah that said, my Afrikaans is not so goed. Brent Yelland, my Afrikaans is kak, pretty basic. Well, it seems like we are going to stick to English for a while.
Yeah, but then in the near future we can have an Lekker Afrikaans chat as well, man. I think we can really do that, or your channel can really do that alternation where you have 1 week Afrikaans, 1 week English, and then anyone that wants to tune in, then they can tune in that week. I think that'll work very well.
Okay, our last segment, which is supposed to be the bulk, like my idea was to guide the segment from where were we, where are we now, and in what direction are we heading. So, like you, Caracal, when did you become involved in like the whole social media sphere?
Sure, man. That actually goes back a long while. I've been traversing the YouTube scene since like 2010. Not making videos, but just like watching videos and political commentary and whatever. So I've seen, for example, the YouTube political commentator scene develop in America and to the point where it is today. And in terms of my own channel, I started making videos in 2017, and it was basically because I was watching all these political commentary channels, and I was following a lot of them on social media, and I realized that I had a specific angle on the things that were happening in the news, and I wasn't seeing a lot of people bring that opinion up. So I just made my own videos, starting to put up my opinion out there. If any, and the same with Twitter. Just started posting my thoughts, and anyone that wanted to tune in or follow me could. And then a lot of people started listening. A lot of people started sticking around, to my absolute surprise. So then I realized I can't not do this. There seems to be a lot of people that find some value in what I have to say. So then in 2017, I think, yeah, or was it no, start 2018. I might be getting my years mixed up, but one of those years I did my first stream with Nick Monroe, my first episode of Stream of Consciousness, what I'm still doing to this day. And then that episode did so well. It was supposed to be a once-off thing, wasn't supposed to be a series, and then that did so well that I would have been a fool not to continue.
Yeah.
So I just made more videos, started interviewing people, talking to people, getting connected to very interesting people. Did a stream with Sargon of Akkad, who is a huge political commentary channel. And last year I did a stream with Styx Hexenhammer, also a YouTube commentator that I follow very closely. I really value his political analysis. And yeah, then I went on the Renegade Report, and I went on another big show, can't remember exactly now, but yeah, and then I started getting more followers, building up a bigger following. And yeah, now I don't have a video schedule. Whenever I feel like making a video about something that I feel I can bring a unique perspective to the table, I make a video. A lot of news analysis channels, for example, let's say with the news now in South Africa with the feminist protests, the xenophobia, and Robert Mugabe, the big news stories. A purely news-centric channel would make 3 videos on that, but they would just be covering the story, not really giving any useful analysis. And that's not what I am. If I feel that there's a story where I can add an angle that not a lot of people are thinking about, then I'll make a video. But I'm not going to just make a video for the sake of it. That's the whole reason why my channel started, and I'm going to stick to that whole motivation.
The reason I started was because of fake news coming from the right. In fact, it's there is a lot of people that perpetuate a false notion about what exactly the problems on the farms are. They would like take fake photos and say this happened over there. And I
Right.
went go and investigate and see, okay, this is where you're wrong, this is where you're wrong. If you look at my very first videos, like a lot of my videos are still left leaning, but it's almost like it's with those investigations, they would make a claim of say 4 or 5 farm murders when the most gruesome one would be totally fake. But the other 4 would be true though, and all of them seemed fake in the beginning. So that is how I realized how big the problems of farm murders are in fact. And that makes me think about like what are we doing to loving life at the moment? Because like loving
So just before you continue, the irony is became aware of how serious farm murders were by debunking the fake news. Am
Exactly.
I hearing correct?
That is exactly what I'm saying. So, like, that led me into like realizing how big the problem really is. Now, loving life perpetuates that same type of fake news that got me into it at the first place. So I'm not entirely sure if the whole loving life thing is um is so bad as we really seem. I personally feel we should like sort of accept him as like the info wars of South African YouTube. But the thing is, he really, really doesn't fact check. He really muddies the water a lot. If you can just tone it down a little, I would actually like to engage with him and like sort of be part of the community. But if it's he blows things way out of proportion, I just can't accept that.
Well, we've had a DM conversation about this in private already. For me, he's just a natural part of the YouTube commentary sphere in South Africa developing. His channel model is, like I said previously, he's the type of channel that I described, covering, excuse me, covering any type of news story that comes his way. And if you're making 3 or 5 or 6 videos a day, you're not going to have time to fact check them all properly. But that's the model that he's chosen. And I've been around the YouTube block long enough to know that these channels don't go away. They appear, and the only way to really counter them if they spread fake news is to just be better. Just fact check properly. Teach your audience that are listening the value of critical thinking and approaching things critically, not just accepting anything that is put in front of them, even if it bevestigs, even if it can have from this is don't just accept anything, even if it's someone that you trust. My motto on my channel is always don't believe what I say, research what I say. And if more people can practice that, then I think we're gonna be all right.
That is what I pride myself in as well. Like before I do a proper video, I make sure about my facts. I don't want to be caught with my pants down. But we have quite a few comments here. Don Barnard's in the mix. And Don is also like sort of a celebrity in the YouTube sphere. Like I don't even know why. It's just Don, you know. It's like the cool cat.
No. Don is the most shrewd entrepreneur in this hemisphere, bruh.
Klipkop en Rooikat, lekker manne. Joburg brand alweer. Yeah, it's not stopping. Like I have been crying out that we are in the state of civil war. And a lot of people have told me, yeah, but you can't say we're in civil war because of this and that. I called civil war by the time the Noomsa plastics factory had those protests. Actually, I really feel it actually started long before that. But the metaphorical little frog in the pan, like they really, really turned up the heat now.
Someone asked today or yesterday, where's Ramaphosa? And then someone else said he's gathering spices for cooking frogs in the east.
Wit Olifant wants to know, at Conscious and Klipkop, what do you think of Stephen Molyneux's universal preferable behavior philosophy?
Dis maar 'n paar groot woorde daai. I can't really.
I'm gonna have to Google what the hell that means. Sorry, Wit Olifant.
I know of Stefan Molyneux, but I'm not very well acquainted with universal preferable behavior. No, sorry, Wit Olifant. If I'm going to give an answer, it's going to be completely sucked out of my thumb.
It's a little bit over our head. Sorry, Wit Olifant. Friede Boer, Klipkop, check if those far-right disinformers are in fact right-leaning at all. The right has been infiltrated by the architects of the state of the world, destroying credibility, thus narrative. Do you think that might be the case? There is people on the left putting out fake news to make the right look bad. Do you think that might be the case?
Well, that would be the exact same approach as Ronaldo Ghost did with Loving Life, is where you plant a story just to see if it travels. And dude, I am completely have no doubt that there are people sowing fake news, but not because they have a right-wing agenda, but rather because they have a left-wing agenda. But I think it's going vice versa. I mean, you can see it maybe not specifically in South Africa, but you can see it in America as well, where people are trolling the left with fake news. Like, for example, that fake news that was started on 4chan that the OK sign means white power. I mean, that was picked up by the mainstream media, and now official celebrities and public figures are saying you can't show the OK sign because it means it's a white supremacist symbol. That was a prank.
It was a big
So
meme, yeah.
so that's exactly what's happening. So I wouldn't be surprised. I actually just finished reading The Art of War today, and according to that philosophy, that is exactly what you need to do, is you need to disorientate your opponent as much as you can by just sowing as much confusion as possible. So from that approach, I would not be surprised if you have people just trying to confuse as many people as possible and just sowing fake news as far as they can.
Now, okay, so we have a sort of an idea. Like you were on the scene first. Like I got to know when I started YouTube. Like the first guy I got acquainted with is Ronaldo. He is the biggest. He is the most out there. He is the quickest to like notice. And I like started getting in touch with him after that. Then Willem Petzer, but he used to be, if I'm correct, he used to be like more of a Twitter celeb, and then moved over to the YouTube platform. Willem Petzer,
Willem?
yeah.
No, I think he made his YouTube channel and his Twitter handle at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he started somewhere specifically. I still remember when he made his first video.
Okay. Domino Magul at Klipkop. What free, what free points out happened? What free points out happens in conjunction with supposedly pro-white organizations like AfriForum disavowing white nationalism? Yeah. The thing is, now that you mentioned this whole white nationalism thing, it's such a small minority that is really like after this whole white nationalism thing that wants to wave the flag just because like segregation was like beautiful. We loved segregation. It's really not a problem in South Africa, but like people are making it a problem and then saying it's AfriForum's fault. There I can agree with you. At Conscious and Klipkop, how do you feel about BEE in the current climate of South Africa?
That's one of the big questions I think the ANC needs to answer. I've seen more and more Black South Africans actually becoming skeptical of BEE and seeing it for what it really is. It's just a fancy way of cadre deployment.
Yeah, but I would agree with you fully. Okay, done with the comments. We were at Willem Petzer last. Now, like
Yeah, we were just talking about South African
after
YouTubers.
the after Willem Petzer started to explode, we had a Discord server. Now, like everybody and their mama got invited. The infamous Discord server. Now, I would like to talk about that. You were both you and I were made admins on the Discord server initially, right?
Yeah, there was a shit ton of people there, man. Every South African YouTuber was there. Ronaldo was there. Fucking everyone on the scene was there. But it was, like I said, I was on a bunch of Discord servers because I'm a communicator, man. I'm a communication facilitator, if you will. But in the end, I just want people to talk. I want people to have conversations. Discord is a very nice platform, actually, for that. And in the end, it was pretty much used as a weapon, where I always use the metaphor of what Willem basically did was he invited 500 people to a bar after a blow ball match. And then someone said something racist in the bar, and then everyone in that bar was smeared. That's basically the gist of it.
Just 1 second. Lift my bums a bit. Um, Now, like, I was like super active on that Discord server. Now, I know you were like hardly active at all, but I remember that there was I saw like the regulars on the server almost as my little as my kids, you know. Like I really got to know the people, and there was one guy, he called himself Hoppy and Snake. Now he took control of all the little emojis that were allowed on this Discord server, and one of the emojis was the old South African flag, and you didn't want to have that as an emoji on our Discord server. In fact,
Yeah, because I knew they would use it as a weapon against Willem. It wasn't illegal at the time, but I knew it was such an easy stick to bash him over the head with. that for me it wasn't. I mean, it's just an obvious way to really put a target on you.
Oh well, what I did have a problem with that though is like without even consulting the other people, you weren't active on the server. You didn't get to know the people like I did, and like you just came in and vetoed, said like this will not be allowed on the server, finish and klar, and like I wasn't very impressed with that.
No, I can't remember what actually. I don't think it was just me. I think we had a long chat in the with all the people that were on there. But yeah, I can't really remember what the case was. But yeah, is Ronaldo Ghosts' Discord still on?
Ronaldo Ghosts' Discord is still on. What I find amazing is I was chilling on his Discord the other day, and there were actually three individuals, and they frequent his Discord server, and they are like 30 times more racist than like the worst people that wasn't the Willem Petzer Discord channel. I'm like really like hectic, heavy, both racist and anti-Semitic. It's like they are trying their best to like turn the conversation into the vilest shit. And like, why was Willem Petzer's server targeted for a little SA flag? But you know, on Ronaldo's server, it's fine. You know, the people can be anti-Semitic. Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, no, dude. Wasn't there also like didn't the same people that like documented Willem's chat or Discord also attack Ronaldo's server a while back?
They did.
I
Yes,
can't remember.
I think they gave like a little stab, but they started losing momentum back then already.
Mm. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people are using Discord anymore. I mean, it was just a little fad, basically.
Okay, like if we can move on from the Discord. Now I see South African alternative media. I break them up into two bunches. There is alternative media, and then there is mainstream alternative media. Now, when I say mainstream alternative media, I'm talking about the Renegade Report, I'm talking about Tea with Helen, I'm talking about Big Daddy Liberty, and to a certain extent, like there is overlap between the regular alternative media and Ronaldo Ghosts' channel, but he also has that mainstream alternative media thing going. Like the mainstream gang, they have, for some reason, they have quick access to people like Helen Zille, or if they want politicians on their channel, they just snap their fingers and they get their politicians. And I'm not entirely sure like why that is the case. Like how do they have access to these people in the first place? Like, why is it so easy for them to get them on?
You're asking me a question that I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is, dude. It's a good question. I mean, I'm curious as well, but it's just they've got a pretty solid network, it seems. But it's what I can say is the future of the South African YouTube, Twitter, and political commentary sphere is it's only going to get bigger. There's only going to get more and more people, and then pretty much as more people come in, the market is going to be saturated by people that are pretty damn good at what they do. So a lot of these channels, like for example, Loving Life, that sometimes doesn't fact check his information. And it's going to be determined by what the market wants. If the market wants solid investigated content, then those channels are going to become the big ones, and they're going to become the major channels. And we're going to have to see where that goes, man. I don't know. We might see a bunch of new guys coming in that are actually really, really good at what they do, or the entire thing can just go to shit, and you're going to see like just a lot of fake news and propaganda being spread.
That what brings me like to another question I wanted to ask you, also with regards to Loving Life. Like, is his channel like sort of exploded? And I believe most of the people knows what he is doing. But what makes people gravitate towards his channel? Like, why does he have so many subscribers when everybody already knows that like he blows news out of proportion?
No, because he uses a shotgun approach where he just pumps out content every day, 4 or 5 videos. You can't compete with that. That's going to attract major traction, and you're going to become, if you can pump out content at that rate, you're going to become one of the major YouTubers in your sphere. And he's entered a market that is pretty much still pretty empty. There's not a lot of people doing what he's doing and what we are doing. So there's ample room for someone to just almost monopolize the market at this point. And not a monopoly, more of an oligarchy. But then what you're going to see from there is that either that person becomes the main source of news and nobody can compete, or more people come in and actually give some competition to those types of channels.
Now, to get back to my mainstream alternative media.
Right.
I'm getting the cramps again. Sorry. On your tweet, on your retweet of mine, I think it was on Double Pete's retweet rather. Jeremy Nell, Germ, he posted a picture of him being blocked by me, which is true. I did block him for good reason. He absolutely he knows I'm in the scene, and he has taken tweets of mine and literally copied. He saw my tweet, copied the text inside his tweet, and then pasted it into his own browser. He has never liked or retweeted or commented any of my tweets. If he doesn't like me or doesn't want to be associated with me, I'm totally fine with that. But if you are going to come to my timeline and literally steal my tweets and post it as your own, I'm gonna block your ass. And I called him out on Twitter and said, listen here, I'm doing a live stream tonight. If you are man enough to discuss this, you need to phone in, and he's not here. So I'm putting it out there. Jeremy Nell is a dick and a pussy.
What tweet did he steal?
It was specifically after the whole constitutional court, not the constitutional review committee, the parliament needed to adopt that motion, and I noticed that this was a super big event, and nobody was talking about it on Twitter. And I thought, as soon as the results are in, I'm going to post the results, and people are going to realize, oh shit, this is actually a big event in South Africa, and the tweet will do good. And I posted it, and it was like I said, I started getting retweets immediately. But like 10 minutes after that, I saw, Jeremy comes up, even with the broken English. I tweeted it in same capitalization, even the same colons. I gave the vote numbers, and I said voted yes and voted no. Like somebody who's an Anglo-Sapper would have said they support the motion, or they do not support, not like a yes and no vote. But he literally copied and pasted my tweet. Now, I just want to say again, if you don't want to associate with me, I can deal with that. But don't come to my timeline and steal my shit. You will get blocked.
Well, maybe he's busy tonight. We don't know. You should still put the invitation out there. If he refuses it outright, then pretty much that's it. But let's see. Maybe he has good reason for not being here. I see the chat's very, very busy.
I got no ads.
People see. There's one person giving you some shit.
Who's that person?
The one with the pink icon.
Lucky Locket. Seriously, stop worrying about others. Do your own thing. He's one of the first channels to report on the sheer distraction of South Africa. Thank goodness for loving life. There is some people that follow him religiously, like for sure you can follow him religiously. If he speaks cuck, I'm just gonna call him out on his cuck. Some free advice, don't worry about other people, they will bog you down, just keep doing your thing. Like a little bit of drama every now and again, like people like that as well, Like I don't like hate Germ, like I call him a little pussy, but it's more like banter.
No, man. But like I said, I'm not in the business to want channels to disappear. I think the best remedy is just to be better, to really put as well-researched information out there as possible. If that's what the people want, you'll grow. If the people don't want that, then we're doomed.
Okay. During my whole YouTube experience, while I was specifically on the Willem Petzer server and the Pof Other Pit, we worked together as a team to bring international awareness to the issue, and we connected with a lot of international people. Like some I kind of regret, because some of them have ulterior motives, But after that died down a bit, I started publishing videos in Afrikaans again because my original videos wasn't Afrikaans. That's what I wanted to do originally, is have an Afrikaans channel. But then went over to English just for the international viewers because we had this combined effort to raise international awareness. Then came the whole thing about identity, like who's an Afrikaner and who is a Boer. And that's when I decided, listen here, like Willem Pet calls himself like a spokesperson for Afrikaans people. Well, not, it doesn't sound like he's the alpha, but like people see him as a spokesperson for Afrikaners. But he doesn't even make videos in Afrikaans. So I thought, but I'm not gonna call him out. I'm just gonna like prove to him like this is how you do it. This is how you like promote Afrikaans, make Afrikaans videos. And eventually I realized that my market is going to stay. I had an average of like 110 views per video, and it wasn't growing beyond that. And I realized like if I wanted more views, I need to expand back into English.
Hmm. Well, that's the thing, is that the people that are curious about South Africa are the people that are speaking English, the people that don't really know what's going on here. Everyone that speaks Afrikaans pretty much knows what's going on in South Africa. So if your mission is to inform people, then English is the way to go, unfortunately.
Chad Blighnout says, Conscious Caracal and Klipkop. This is for you guys to fight over. Who is South Africa's best YouTuber? Like me, obviously. Stupid question. Pretty Boer Klipkop, what are your thoughts on surveillance in South Africa? What do you mean, like Big Brother Third Eye, in a China type of way, that type of surveillance? Or what do you mean with surveillance?
I think that's what he's talking about. He mentioned it earlier in the chat as well.
Is there like more cameras suddenly on the streets, or are you talking about, for example, the
I think he's talking about people listening to you over the phone and watching through your laptop eye.
Oh, well, they can. I'm live streaming at the moment. I've mentioned my real name a few times on my channel. I'm not ashamed of who I am and what I've said in the past. And like, they can must survey all they want. Like, I really don't care.
Well, that's my logic as well, is that if they listen in, it's going to be fucking boring.
Belleville Pit in the easy. Belleville Pit is always laat. Why are you laat, Belleville Pit? But aware, my second. Ek dink jy kan nogals goed doen as jy fokus op Afrikaans ook. I would really like to do a bit more Afrikaans. Like, I just need to like know there's support out there. But I know I'm gonna like cut off like quite a few of my core support. I know, for example, Sunny Savannah. Like, I'm not saying like Sunny is my core support. Sunny goes to like everybody's channel. Like, she is a supporter of South African YouTube, and I think like for people like her, I should actually continue in English. I don't know, maybe like wissel dit af, like you mentioned. Charlie Brown asks, at Klipkop, ek neem aan jy het dit gekry. Kan jy vir die mooi blonde koppie ook saambring? I don't know what you're talking about.
Stefan, hy sal met Afrikaans met jou praat oor die marxisme. Ek dink dis 'n baie goeie idee.
We can do that Marxist chat in Afrikaans. So Stefan Sankara Marx, like, if you drop me a mail, we can do it in Afrikaans and English. It doesn't really matter, you know. Like, we can, and I think we can do that. Chad Blighnout, Klipkop, laaste 10 minute Afrikaans asseblief.
Ja, ons is nou in die laaste 10 minute.
Okay, let's just like wrap up so we have an idea where we came from, like how the whole South African YouTube thing evolved. We know who's who in the zoo, and we know we infight amongst each other, you know. Like Kaaplande gave Willem Pets a kak the other day, and this guy gives that guy kak. But I was actually thinking about that earlier, and like, there's a lot of people that, like, if you're not for us, you are against us. If you speak out against loving life, people shun you because we can't stand together. But I think that is a ridiculous argument, and the reason why we don't have leaders like the ANC has leaders is because we don't have this group mentality of like, if you're either for us or against us. We keep our leaders in check. People that proclaim to be leaders, we question them all the time, and it keeps them on the straight and narrow. Where if you go with this group mentality thing, the leaders can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, and in the end, I see this South African YouTuber movement, or not movement, we don't all agree on everything, but like this whole YouTube commentator sphere I see as the counterculture, basically. We're going against the mainstream narrative, and a lot of people are attracted towards it. And if people want to listen, more power to them. That's great.
Okay, so like I really said everything about where we were and where we are now. In what direction do you think South African YouTubers in general, both the mainstream alternative and like people like us, the real alternative, where are we heading? Where would you like to see us head?
Okay, that's two questions. I think I'll answer first where we are heading, I think, and then where I want us to head. My prediction for where we are heading is I think we're going to see a much more crowded market in the future. I think we're going to see a lot more people coming in, making videos, streaming, doing interviews. And the main challenge then is going to have to be is that you're going to have to keep innovating. The people that are already here on the scene are going to have to start thinking of new ideas, bringing something new to their audience and making their channel unique, that people choose them over the many options that are sure to come. But the more people, and the more people joining is a good thing. I welcome it because that's more competition. That's going to keep people nice and active and keep people. I'm not going to be able to afford to just make one video a month. So it will be a very good thing. Then where I want it to go is actually where I think it will go. I think where I want it to go is more people bringing competition, that not just 3 or 4 channels control the entire narrative, or 3 or 4 channels are the main sources of information or commentary. I want more people giving their perspectives and their angles, and we go from there. You choose whoever you agree with the most, or maybe not even just agree with the most, which channels challenge you mentally enough that afterwards you think that made me think, or that I didn't think about that issue in that certain way. I mean, that's the biggest compliment anyone can give me as a content creator, is when they tell me you made me think about something in a way that I didn't think about before, or you taught me something that I haven't learned or didn't know before that. That's why I'm here, man. It's just to inform people as best I can and to encourage them to think critically.
So with a big driving force that made me do more frequent and more political type videos was Ronaldo Gous, because there was a lot of bullshit coming from his channel, and it made me realize that somebody else needs to stand up now. Like, I can tell this guy to do it, that guy to do it, but the only way to prove your point is to pull up your socks and do it yourself, and that's what made me decide to go at the YouTube thing, and specifically at him at that stage a little bit more aggressive, because he was downplaying this whole farm murders thing, etc., etc. But what part of the reason why my name is Klipkop is also to, I know I'm not the most intelligent guy. Fucking these cigarettes kill your brain cells, my bro, and I acknowledge that, and I'm not the most intelligent guy out there. But if you have a better opinion, if you think my reasoning is cuck, take your cell phone and make a YouTube video, post it to the internet. We need a bigger spread. And if anybody starts out a channel and they have got 3 subscribers, send me a mail, please go check out my channel. I don't have, we have 46 viewers at the moment here, but if your stuff is something to listen to, I will definitely punt your stuff. So please guys, if you feel you want to start making videos, it's not that difficult. We have quite a few questions. Did you want to add to that?
No, I'm done there, man. I think once you've done your conclusionary remarks, we can switch over to that last 10 minutes of Afrikaans, and then we can say goodnight, because a lot of people have work tomorrow,
okay,
including me.
Friede Boer says, unlawful blanket surveillance, recording your WhatsApp convos, emails, phone calls, Facebook, Instagram. The thing is, I don't think it's right, but I've got nothing to hide. They must survey all they want. Sideline opinions, het jy moderators? Nee, ek het nie. Is there any problems in the chat that I'm missing? Because I'm not reading all the comments. I'm only reading the @Klipkops. Friede Boer has an @Contrast Caracal. Does it not bother you that the government spies on us? Well, no. I don't.
All governments spy on their people, man. It's pretty much a global thing at this point. That's the pretty much the curse of our time. Can't do anything about it.
Charlie Brown says, @Klipkop, daai ou oomie van Loving Life het een aand daar in Oudtshoorn my boutjies gegryp sonder my permissie. Hoe voel jy Dit klink vir my soos die storie wat nou van Ninja en die antwoord en Jolandi Visser wat so 'n groot boa gemaak het, want apparently een of ander gay ou Jolandi se ass gegryp en toe wil Ninja die ou bliksem, maar voor die tyd het Ninja glo in 'n botteltjie bier gepis, toe gooi Jolandi dit in die ou se gesig uit. Dit is 'n baie deurmekaar storie, maar ek was altyd supporter van die antwoord gewees, maar ek gaan nie in daai klein boutjies gryp en wat ook al, ek gaan nie eers in daai topic afgaan nie. Tian Opperman vra, @Klipkop, if we don't start working towards one common goal, then all YouTubers are going to waste precious time that they could have used towards helping the Afrikaner. Well, I won't give up my models for herd mentality. It is just as simple as that. Rampokker, wanneer los hierdie sigarette? Die ding is, Rampokker, as hierdie ou my lewe vat, dan gaan ek 'n gelukkige man sterf. So, seker nooit nie. Charlie Brown, @Klipkop, dink jy Ronaldo gous kon vir Danny DeVito in Twins replace it? Okay, so, hy is al nie so kort nie, ek meen, Danny DeVito, shame man, dit is order comrade, order, please. Chad Blugnout, @Klipkop, what do you think of Frans Cronje justifying terrorism on Ronaldo's show? The thing is, I didn't watch Ronaldo's show, I was a little bit busy and I was also preparing for this live stream, trying to get everything sorted, so I must actually go back and watch that. Tian Opperman, @Klipkop, you have attacked Willem, Germ and Ronaldo in the last 20 minutes. I can't remember that I attacked Willem. I attacked Germ, yes, and I like, well, I would say the one on Germ was an attack. On Ronaldo, it's just like that
You just bantered with Ronaldo.
brotherly banter, you know, like he says I'm a puss and vice versa, you know. Then Stefan Sankara Marx, 5G and the fourth industrial revolution will take us to surveillance-type states like China, which is now using social capital to deny some people services. The thing is, we have a brother. So maybe we can discuss Gerard J. van der Merwe. Have you checked out his live streams and his videos?
I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm going to have him on my show definitely in the future.
Oh, please do that. Like, it is, like, I wasn't really understanding what he was trying to do, but like, I really get it now. He is stuck in China and he like really misses South Africa. He just wants to talk to us Owens. It's really as simple as that. And I checked his live stream. I think he's going to do a regular one on Saturday and Sunday mornings. And it's really such a relaxed atmosphere. I suggest all of you go check out Gerard J. van der Merwe. If you just want to like sit back and talk about South African things and explain it to an expat who has not been here for a few years. @Dagbreker says, @Klipkop, I agree we need to try and avoid fake news, but attacking each other is exactly what divides us. I see a lot of ego flying around. Okay, fair comment. Gaan ons nou begin Afrikaans praat. Uiteindelik.
Kom ons sluit hom af in die nie-koloniale taal.
In die nie-koloniale taal.
Ja, wat? Nee, dit is vir my, ek dink wat jy in die toekoms, as jy Afrikaanse streams doen, gaan jy maklik 30, 25 mense kan inkry. Ek het geen twyfel daaroor nie. Mense is honger vir Afrikaanse content, maar ek dink op dieselfde tyd, jy moenie ophou om jou Engelse content te maak nie, want op die ou end, jy is 'n kanaal wat jy wil mense inlig, en as jy internasionale mense wil inlig, gaan jy tog moet Engelse video's maak. Ek dink, maar as jy 'n balans daartussen kan vind, gaan dit op die ou end die key wees.
Jy praat so van die internasionale mense inlig. Ons het dieselfde tyd as wat Afriforum oorgegaan het, en hulle was op Tucker Carlson gewees. Daai tyd dit is amper soos 'n vlaag gewees van ons al die Afrikaanse of Afrikaner YouTubers het content uitgedruk vir internasionale media en Afriforum almal saamgewerk. Dit was actually in my opinie so half soos glory days. Dink jy nie nou met al die proteste en so aan wat spesifiek nou gebeur, is dit dalk soos 'n bietjie overdue om 'n tweede vlaag te doen, om dit weer te probeer nie?
Wat praat jy spesifiek van om wat weer te probeer?
Om weer 'n bohaai op te skop vir die internasionale media. Dis en hoor hierso mense, kyk wat gaan in Suid-Afrika aan. Dinge is regtig waar fucked up hierso. Want die waarheid is, dinge is nou 20 keer erger as wat dit 'n jaar terug was.
Vir my gaan dit oor, solank as wat dit nie artificial is nie, dan is so iets nie 'n slegte idee nie. Solank as wat dit alles gebaseer is op feite en op die ware realiteit van Suid-Afrika. Maar op dieselfde tyd, ek dink ook nie ons hoef dit te druk nie. Ek dink op die ou end moet ons net seker maak daar's soveel bronne van inligting as moontlik vir hierdie mense dat hulle as hulle kom soek, nie net in een week waar Suid-Afrika die flavour of the week is waar almal oor Suid-Afrika praat in die buiteland en dan weer heeltemal vergeet die volgende week dat ons bestaan nie. Dink jy dit gaan vir ons enigstens help? Ek dink eerder vir die mense wat nuuskierig is, enige dag van die week, enige week van die jaar, moet daar video's wees of 'n video database amper van mense wat die nuus analiseer en vertel wat hier aangaan. Dat mense nie in een week 'n klomp rapid fire inligting oor Suid-Afrika kry nie, maar eerder dat die inligting daar is vir enigiemand wat nuuskierig is enige tyd van die jaar, nie net omdat Suid-Afrika daai week interessant is vir mense nie. En ek sien Chad vra daar in die chat, wanneer is my volgende video? Hierdie week, Chad.
Charlie Brown sê, @Klipkop, ek het laasweek die hele 3 seisoene van Onk nie Snork nie gekyk, en ek voel die show is rassisties en hate speech. Hoe voel jy? Charlie Brown is hy besig om te troll hierso. Ek dink so, want ek kan nog Onk nie Snork nie onthou, ek kan nie onthou dat dit rassisties en hate speech is nie. Ek weet hulle het mos Ricky en Nielsie ook gehad op die show. Ek meen, dit was juist in daai stadium wat die regering het Ricky en Nielsie gebruik so half om mense sag te maak aan, weet soos ons moet nou die ander kant begin aanvaar, mense met 'n verskillende velkleur, hulle is ook mense, dit is so half gebruik gewees. Ek sê nie so beslegte nie, ek sê nie hulle was facetious gewees nie, maar ek onthou nog spesifiek vir Ricky en Nielsie en dis so half asof hulle die program gebruik het om mense te laat skuif na daai tipe narrative wat hulle graag wil ons ingeglo het. As ek wil, jy praat van in watter rigting beweeg ons, wat ek nou een constant ding wat ek al genotice het van YouTube kanale, die ouens wat regtig waar sukses het, is die ouens wat consistently informasie uitbring. Nou, Ronaldo op die oomblik, hy doen 'n Woensdag livestream, en hy doen 'n Sondag livestream, en hy probeer sy bes om een political video te maak, een keer in 'n week. Nou ek dink ek moet dieselfde doen. Ek weet nie, baie mense sê vir my, ja, maar om my livestream na Ronaldo se livestream op 'n Sondag te maak, is raak 'n bietjie laat, want dit is nou al klaar, wat nou hier sit. Ek kan dit miskien voor die tyd doen, want ek dink nie meer so baie mense kyk carte blanche nie. Nou, dan kan ons miskien in plaas van die afterparty, kan ons dit pre-drinks noem. Maar ek dink, ek moet my Sondag aand livestream, so hou ons maar eerder my laat aand, dan gaan ek my best probeer om Woensdae aande, maybe moet ek Woensdae aande 'n Afrikaans livestream maak. En Ronaldo is constantly laat op sy Woensdag aand livestream, so ek wonder as ek met hom praat, hy wil gewoonlik 8 uur livestream, maar gewoonlik is hy 8 uur nie daar so nie. Nou wat van, ek vat die 8 uur slot, sê, hoorie so, hou op om 8 uur video's te post, begin jou show eers 9 uur, dan sal ek so half die pre-drinks doen vir jou show van 8 uur, miskien half 8, ek weet, ek sal nog met die ou gesels, hy is seker nie nou in die chat nie, maar ek sal vir hom beet kry. Wat dink jy van daai idee? Daar kan 'n mens wel, ten minste kan ek en hy dan so half 'n ding begin van, ons doen so half 'n circuit, en ons praat met mekaar, hoor so, nou livestream die ou, nou bring die ou 'n video uit, dat is so half kan, amper soos 'n Suid-Afrikaanse TV kanaal maak, jy weet, met 'n program wat jy basically vir mense 'n menu kan gee. Ek dink daai sal awesome wees.
Nee, ek dink is 'n baie goeie idee daai. Maar ja, ek wil maar net, ek dink ons kan nou aan die einde begin kom van hierdie, ek moet nou self ook nog 'n paar gedoen voor môre. Maar ja, ek wil net vir jou baie dankie sê dat jy my opgenooi het. Klipkop was 'n baie lekker gesels hierdie, en dankie vir almal wat ingetune het. Yes, 46 mense op een slag is nie iets wat sommer enige dag gebeur nie. Ek dink dis 'n baie lekker hoeveelheid mense wat live ingeskakel het om te kom luister, ek en jy bietjie stront praat.
Ja, dit was my meeste views sover, en ek wil vir almal sê wat ook gejoin het, baie dankie. Ons het nog so 'n dagpreek vir altyd uitstekende vrae. Conscious Caracal, ek is tans besig om die ou plaasgrense te stap, waar Joburg nou is, te loop en navorsing te doen. Ek stel vas die geskiedenis van die gebied. Ek sien ook hoe vol poef almal is, en hy het nie 'n vraag gevra nie. Maar hoor so, jy het gesê, jy wil nou bitter graag gaan, jy wil graag gaan slaap, en mamma roep vir jou en so aan. So nou baie dankie dat jy op die show gekom het, en ek hoop eerlikwaar, dat jy ten minste een keer 'n week at least 'n livestream of iets kan doen. Maybe kan ons inskakel op die circuit, maybe kan ons Dinsdae of Donderdag, ek weet nie hoe werk jou program met Afriforum nie, maar baie dankie vir jou tyd en jou moeite en dat jy ook daar 'n voice vir die Afrikaners is daar buite.
En vir my gaan dit oor sodra ek daai OBS en Skype en goed kan uitsort, dan kan ek weer begin livestream. Ek dink ons kan 'n lekker program aan mekaar sit as ons maar 'n bietjie net caucus oor wat wie gaan wat se dag praat. Ek dink ons kan 'n lekker klomp materiaal vir mense wat wil inskakel en luister. En weer baie dankie vir almal wat ingeskakel het. Waardeer julle tyd regtig. Ons het nou vir oor 'n uur gepraat. En solidly, daar is soos 40 mense gemiddeld geluister, wat ongelooflik is.
Nou maar toe, baie dankie vir jou tyd en 'n lekker aand vir jou.
Alright, nee, selfe vir jou Klipkop. Lekker week vir die res van die mense wat ingeskakel het.
Okay, ek gaan nou neersit, nou gaan my kamera seker vrek. Hel. Is ek nog online? Ek hoop so. Ek dink ek is nog online, dan gaan dit seker bitter baie lag wees. Ek gaan net gou so vinnig deur die comments en so gaan. Sunny Savannah, dankie julle twee. Was that good? Ek is altyd so bly as Sunshine Savannah in die chat is. Haar naam altyd as sy sê, hallo almal, ek gooi so 'n klein smiley gesiggie. Ek sien myself as Sunny Savannah en loop rond met 'n fucking mandjie vol blomme en gooi dit so oor die mense. Sunny Savannah. Okay, Charlie Brown kom nou op weer met sy, wat dink jy van daai aantreklike vrou Zinzi Mandela? Ek sal nou nie op haar aantreklikheid enige iets sê nie, maar nee, ek dink sy sit die pot heel mis. Sy het groot geword in hierdie pool of privilege van hulle verplaas. Sy het alles gehad wat sy ooit voorgewens in haar lewe. En sy praat van hoe wit mense, jy weet, die probleem in Suid-Afrika is, terwyl sy een van die mees privileged mense is waarvan ek weet. Ek dink sy is heel fucking simpel, to be honest with you. Klipkop, hoekom is Skaaplander gay? Jufa Kinlion, ek het nie geweet Kaaplander is gay nie, so. Kyk eens so mense, ek wil net gou vir julle graag hierso wys. Ek het mos nou weer my desktop terug. There we go. Ek is vandag, was ek 'n coverboetie genoem gewees. Ek wil net gou hierso kyk, ek hoop net die ou nou gedelete het. Ek wil hierdie gebespreek het. Ek hoop julle kan sien, maar hierso staan, the Dutch arrived in South Africa in 1652. The Zulu arrived in South Africa in 1709. Nou maar, hierdie is goed wat ek baie sien. En dit is absolutely fucking fake news. Dit is loving life en nog erger. Want die Zulu het nie ge-arrive hierso in 1709 nie. Die Zulu clan was net gevorm in 1709. Hulle was nie gewees voor 1709, ek beloof aan julle. Julle moet as julle mense sien wat hierdie tipe goed versprei, bly weg, dis fucking gif. Dis net nie waar nie. Ek ben, dit lyk dalk goed vir die narrative wat jy try push, maar dit is net nie waar nie. En as jy wil probeer redeneer oor iets, en jy bring sulke feite na die tafel toe, dan gaan mense jou nie ernstig opvat nie. Ek wil gou hierso kyk. Here we go. Nou, my vraag hierso was, hoe fake dink jy is hierdie nuus? 1 is heeltemal fake en 10 is die God se waarheid. Nou, hier kom hierdie Piet na my toe. Zandrich Y. Geil, ek weet nie wat nie. 10 boy, or has a drunk uncle you told otherwise. Nou, maar dink ek dis fucking onbeskof. Hier sommer, has a drunk uncle told you otherwise. Like, hoe sal jy nou my kommentaar by 'n dronk oom sit? Nou probeer jy vir my verduidelik, ja, maar dis 'n sinseer vraag, jy weet. En toe op die einde dink hy het dit gedelete. Dit sal nie goed wees, hè? Ek is, nee, jammer, ek is nie 'n kafferboetie nie. Ek is 'n kafferliefhebber. Nou maar, Keizer Zandrich, ek dink jy is fucking onbeskof en 'n moerse kont. Fok jou. Hy sê ek is 'n kafferliefhebber, omdat ek sê hierdie flyer is fake news, en dit is. En dit is, jy weet, dit is hierdie 0,05% van mense in ons eie midde, van ons wat saam is, wat heeltemal die water bevuil. Ek kan net nie met mense soos hulle saamstem nie. Kom ons kyk gou, hoekom is Kaaplander gay? Ek het geweet is gay nie. Kan jy net dalk volgende keer jou kas deur agter jou toemaak? Dit pla my al heel streef. Ek kan nog weer verduidelik hoekom daai so effenkies oop staan. Maar nie nou nie. Dit is nie nou reg nie. Die internet is nog nie reg daarvoor nie. Chad Blighnout, what's your favorite drink? Praat jy van, jy weet, soos 'n dop? En ek is 'n brandewyn en coke ou, ek ben. En dan as jy praat van wat drink ek oor die algemeen, wat drink ek baie? Ouros, ek het een van my fancy yskaste waar jy nie die glas druk en dan kom die fucking koue watertjie so uit wat awesome is. Maar ek het 'n bottel Ouros vir langs dit staan. Ek is baie lief my Ouros. Jy praat so van drink. Ek het baie gekuier op my dag. Ek gaan nie vir jou lieg nie. Maar ek is nou al, jy weet, redelik oud. Ek los dit nou vir die kinders. Julle ouens wat hou van kuier en mal gaan, gaan geniet jou jongmens lewe. Ek het vrede met julle, maar ek is net oor dit, heeltemal. Charlie Brown, Klippie, wanneer kan ek vir jou geld gee met my superchat? Jy het baie geld. Bring in those superchats, spread the superchats. Die ding is, vir my om superchats aan te sit, ek moet 4000 uur average watch time het oor die laaste 12 maande. En ek kan nie vir julle wys. Ek weet nie of ek sal kan inzoom nie. Kom ek hoop so. O nee. Okay, ek gaan nou oorskakel. Desktop. Ek sien daar so, ek het 2400 average watch hours oor die laaste 12 maande. Nou as jy nou daar lees, to be eligible for the YouTube partner program, dit is nou super chat basically, en monetization oor die algemeen, you must reach 4000 hours watch time and 1000 subscribers. Nou, ek is op die oomblik, ek dink is 888 subscribers. Kom ons check gou hierso. Your channel 897 subscribers. So ek is bitter baie naby aan 1000 subscribers. So ek fokus glad nie, jy weet, om te probeer nog subscribers te kry nie. Ek fokus nou op die oomblik om 2.4k te 4000 watch hours vir die laaste 12 maande te kry. Daai is my nommer 1 prioriteit op die oomblik. Waar is ek nou? Stefan se Karemats, hoor, waarheid bra. Ek sal nog graag weet exactly, ek het nou so baie gepraat. Waarvoor sê jy daai? Daan Burnot, hang jou biltong daar in die kas. Ek dink Daan weet presies hoekom my kas eventjies oop staan. Ek gaan dit nou maar net daar los. Ring the bell, citizens! Lekker chat. Charlie Brown, ek het okay, never mind. Vrede Boer, Klipkop, wat is die tydlyn van die aanland van die koloniste na Suider-Afrika? Zulu et al en Janse mense. Wat is die tydlyn van die aanland van die koloniste na Suider-Afrika? Wel, daar was gesê dat Jan van Riebeeck het aangelaat in 1652, is dit nie? En die Zulus et al. Die ding is, die probleem is die Nguni mense, meeste van Afrika, het nie 'n geskrewe geskiedenis nie. Dit is, hulle moet gaan op goed soos gebeendere en rotstekenings en hulle het nie 'n skryftaal gehad nie. Die ding is, ons weet net nie. Al wat ons weet, iemand het gesê dat we discovered the Xhosa in 1790, wat ook al. En daai is ook 'n kakstorie. Ons het nie die Xhosa gediscover nie. The first documented encounter with the Xhosa was in 17. Daai clouding of the water van die Xhosa het eers begin bestaan in die 1700s is absoluut kak. Die eerste keer wat dat die oudste reference wat daar is van ons wat met Xhosas doen gehad het, kom uit die 1700s uit, maar dit beteken nie die Xhosa het eers in die 1700s begin nie. Klipkop groei normaal, hou by wat jy doen, raak gemaklik en jy kan daarby voeg. En mense sal kom in die tyd, tot jy die sweet spot plan, jy is cool. Baie dankie vir jou ondersteunende dagbreke, ek weet jy ondersteun fucking alle Suid-Afrikaanse YouTubers, jy ondersteun Ronaldo, jy ondersteun GJ en almal, jy steek uit en ek is bly vir julle mense en dit is exactly vir mense soos jy wat ons die kanale doen, maar baie dankie vir jou ondersteuning. En jy kan maar van my ander pelle ook vra, baie mense het al vir my gesê, ek moet dit doen, ek het nog altyd gedoen net wat the fuck ek wil, en ek gaan aanhou om dit te doen. Charlie Brown stem saam, dagbreke Portugese was al hier gedurende die 1400s. Dis ook waar jy weet, hulle het so 1 of 2 pitstops gemaak, so tegnies was hulle al, en die Portugese was, jy weet, daar in Mosambiek se kant, ook op 'n ander tyd. Jy weet, ek is nie 'n geskiedkundige nie, maar wat ek weet is dat die Zulus het nie hier aangekom in 1709 nie, hulle was klaar hier gewees, hulle het net die Zulu clan gevorm in 1709. Ek dink ek het daar kom nog 'n comment. Stefan Sankara Marx, Klipkop. Ek het vanaand subscribe, het nie geweet jy het 'n channel nie. So, nou, van waar ken jy my Stefan? Is dit van Twitter af of wat? Want ek adverteer my kanaal redelik baie op Twitter. Daar is 'n portal in daai kas na die nuwe goeie Suid-Afrika toe, soos die kas in Narnia. Julle mense, die conspiracy theory loop net diep, en hy hou dit net vir homself. Dis 'n nether portal, en in die ander kas gaan hy na die N-realm toe. Wat van die rekord van die Portugese wat voor 16 jaar aangesluit het? Die ding is, ons gaan nou in geskiedenis in wat ek nie regtig weet nie, maar dalk kan jy vir my beter inlig of verwys na presies waarvan jy praat van die Portugese rekords. Want jy weet, hulle het kolonies gevorm voor die Hollanders hier aan die ooste, daar aan Mosambiek se kant. En ek weet soos in Da Gama en Diaz, hulle het ook so 'n paar pitstops hier in Suid-Afrika gemaak. Maar ek weet nie presies waarvan jy praat nie, so ek kan nie regtig waar 'n kommentaar lewer nie. Eloise van Sail, @Klipkop, jy begin nou jou video's geniet. Baie dankie. Ek raak al hoe meer gemakliker. Ek meen, veral as ek sien, ek het 'n video en daar kom so 'n klomp mense gelyk om, jy weet, spesiaal net vir Klipkop te kyk. Dit motiveer my om net nog stap uit te bring en weet nog 'n bietjie meer te lees en te gesels, maar baie dankie dat jy ook aangesluit het hierso. Actually Ronaldo of Willem of iemand se Discord server, na ek met Willem gesels het een op sy channel. Okay. Belwel Piet, Narnia is aan die ander kant van Klipkop se kas. Hoor jy so mense, ek is nou al amper vir 1 uur en 'n half aan die gang, en ek moet sê, my livestreams het hopeloos te lank aangegaan in die verlede, en ek dink dit gaan weer gebeur, maar ek gaan nou vir julle sê, ek gaan myself nou probeer commit, om Woensdag aande, wil ek voor Ronaldo se show, die ding is, ek moet maar inval by wat Ronaldo op die oomblik doen, en so half van sy, nog meer van sy views intrek, en dan wil ek graag op Woensdag, wil ek voor sy livestream, wil ek 'n Afrikaanse livestream doen, en dit kan so half 'n pre-drinks wees, en dan Sondag aande, wil ek soos in hierdie laatnag afterparty met julle hou. Ek like nogal die afterparties, en dan hopelik, ek moet ook hier ophou om ordentlike political video's te maak, want as iemand na my kanaal toe kom, en hulle sien net livestreams, dan loop hulle weer. IZA, check 'n bietjie Mossel Bay so 'n bietjie. Klipkop, kyk Asha Logos se kanaal. Dit het niks met SA spesifiek te doen nie, maar daar is baie belangrike content. Hoor hierso mense, baie dankie dat julle ingeskakel het. En ek praat Woensdag weer met julle. As julle nog nie vir Conscious Caracal volg nie, al sy contact deets is onder in die description, so julle weet wat om daar te maak. Nou maar baie dankie dat julle ingeskakel en safe maar se kinders.